This is Unit 01, Eva, from Neon Genesis Evangelion, and you're watching Extreme Costumes. Today, we're going to be talking about Eva. That's Unit 01 from Neon Genesis Evangelion, one of my favorite animes. And I made it. I'm really proud of this work. I think it's some of my best work ever. I hope that you'll see that by my showing you a little bit closer. This particular piece is the helmet, or the head. It's based on an ordinary baseball helmet. It could be had for only 14 bucks. Then I got a bunch of my favorite material, EVA foam, kind of poetic there, and I cut it out in different shapes to occupy the shapes that help to fill in the blanks. This piece here attaches to my jaw and my chin so that when I talk, he talks. Right here it mounts in perfectly for the microphone, so that whenever I speak, it always stays exactly with me, allowing all my voice to carry out to the crowd. The horn is detachable because I had to make it detachable to fit it into the damn suitcase. While it's a badass helmet, there's a hell of a lot more to this than this piece. Let me show you the rest of them. These are one of the two biceps. They're absurdly large, but this particular character has these things that rise way above his head. See where my shoulders are? That's a 24-inch travel. Now you may see some battle damage. That's because I used them very hard and I was on a solo trip for about 5 days in California. But this does offer a certain choice. You can get a little closer, you could start to see all the different layers that are in this. There's actually as much as 12 layers of paint to get to this particular coat. Between the primers, the paint itself, the clear coat on top, and of course in this particular case here, the sealant underneath. When you combine the sealants, there's actually as many as 14 coats. None of which matters much when you walk into a cement wall. But it held up pretty damn good. It gave the iconic look associated with the EVA unit. And this is an example of non-Pacura work. That means that this is all freehand. You can tell that because, well, there's certain inconsistencies, which I'm pointing out right there. But on the other hand, a lot of these pieces look near identical. The height, the width, straight-on views, side views. And this is all done freehand. You don't have to use a computer to do all the work. If you want to just take your eye, you can do it too. These pieces here are all pretty lightweight and durable too. Thighs are pretty unremarkable, other than the fact of how badly I abused them. But I did a lot of dancing. And the thighs take a lot of abuse. Here's an example of the hands. I've added on the iconic print they've added onto the sides. And unlike Bumblebee, which is very open and airy, I had to add in a little door to get into it. Why do I need a door like that? Because sometimes, when you're putting all your fingers in the various little holes, one of those fingers or strings snaps. And quite frankly, trying to fish that line down 24 inches versus 12 inches is twice as easy. And of course, there's those bends. And this hand is a great hand. It can take all of my body weight. And you can pick up a guitar. Don't worry about the guitar breaking. That was actually part of a skit. It was a quick little prop I made with a friend's help. Took us about 3 hours to pop out, and it looked fun. That's right, giant robots playing giant guitars. Unlike some of my other costumes, this piece here is comprised of nothing but contoured pieces. There's not a single square edge anywhere in it. And as I made this one, I tried to overcome some of the problems I've had in the past. One of the problems I had in the past was that when I used my latest Bumblebee, the toes frequently got ripped off. You're thinking, toes? Why are those relevant? Well, when you're walking around inside a nightclub or inside a convention with tens of thousands of people, people kick the toes. They don't see them. They're looking at the giant robot. So in this particular case here, I made the toes a solid piece. And yet, it could fold 90 degrees along the true stilt foot to get snug up right near a stair. The back of this piece has enough travel to fit around a standard stair, which is 9 inches. So that means I can put this piece snug up against the stair when I'm going down it and not have to hit this piece here. Always pops out of the way. And all of this coated, of course, with anywhere from 8 to 12 coats of automotive car paint. Standard Durastilt stilts. Durastilt 4, by the way. That means the rear entry. They clamp into place. They weigh about 12 pounds. That's not each, that's total. This current costume comes in at 9 foot 8 inches tall, 53 pounds, and it took me about 5 months to make. Now we're going to show you what it looks like. What I want to show you here is how easy it is to walk around in it. It's pretty easy to negotiate your way around tight areas. Robot smash! No, that doesn't really work that way. But I can easily get my foot up on something. I could even get up much larger things. Now, for range of motion, let's see. I can go pretty far down. Make sure you get this all on screen. And obviously, my reach is quite a bit higher than that. I guess I'm going to have to measure the ceiling again. I took off the face sock because, well, I had to take apart the jaw to fly it back from California. Normally, you wouldn't be able to see my face or the neck. There should be no skin exposed anywhere. Now, range of motion, pretty significant. Obviously, these shoulder flares do interfere with some choices. For example, that hits, but that doesn't. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to go out and wash cars. I don't find that very exciting. But tonight, I'm piloting a giant robot. You could do the same thing. If you want to see all the crazy-ass stuff we do here, just make sure you subscribe. There's all kinds of other fun innovations that I've done to improve this costume. The single most important thing I did was I went from 85 pounds to 45 pounds. That means that the performer has nearly half the weight to carry, or a hell of a lot longer in the costume before you overheat and fall over.